my name is Megan. I am the PWN membership chair since 2020. So it's going to be my third year here. I have to tell you ladies, that we just had our board retreat over the weekend, and it was phenomenal. And I know on behalf of the board, it is going to be a tremendous year of growth and opportunity, and really diving deeper into all the membership benefits, for our local ones and for ones that are out of state. First and foremost, I always suggest with our board members, there's always the best way to joining a committee and being more involved. So I know Julianne Wookie is one of our new ones. What key?
What key?
What key? I was like, is one of our new committee members for programs. So like I said, the board members will introduce themselves a little bit later, but get involved. Also on top of that, our board members will be calling our members just to check in as well. That will be divided between the members. So be prepared, think about some questions, because, at the end of the day, you're the members. We want to make sure that you get the most value out of this, because I just went to a networking thing earlier this morning, and PWN has my heart and soul. It's very special. It is a very special community. On top of that, I'm going to turn it over to our new fundraising director, Dr. Melina Fausch.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you. So excited to be here. Today, I have an invitation and an ask. So how many of you know that you can sponsor a monthly meeting? Yes, you can. You don't even have to be a member. So I want to invite those of you who have never sponsored a meeting, or those of you who are maybe more introverted. Let us speak on your behalf. Let us promote you. It's a 1-month scholarship, easy for me to say. It's $50. Then you also give 2 gift certificates for each one of our meetings. So please let me know. We make that easy for you to sign up. You can do that right on our website. And second, speaking of committees, I'm seeking 2 women to join my fundraising committee. I promise the time commitment is a lot smaller than mine, and I will be overseeing all of this. Please let me know if you're interested in being all involved, all of us working together is how we all shift and help women. Thank you, Megan. Thank you, women.
Beautiful, Dr. Melina. And with that, our sponsor for this month is Jody Royer, which also it gives you the opportunity to be having your sponsor on our PWN website on all of the event that goes out for the month. So it's a great opportunity. On top of that, being our sponsor, we also have a raffle prize that the sponsor donates. And Jody, what are we putting up for a raffle prize?
Oh, you get a $50 gift certificate to your favorite restaurant.
Beautiful. And can you refresh our members how we get our tickets? We provided the link.
Okay, well, if you go straight to the website, pwnmonterey.org, you will see today's event. If you click on the event link, it goes straight to the event page. And on the event page is the link to the raffle. Or you can go on the website, look for store. Store has it, but I will get the link and I'll put it in the chat.
Awesome. Thank you, Jody.
A lot of people have registered. I'm trying to put them in the wheel. So I'm doing work behind the scenes here.
Okay. Do you have like 2 minutes? So Miss Julianne, what key can introduce you and get you?
Oh, is it my turn to be on the spotlight? Okay, then I'll stop working.
All right, Miss Julianne, will you?
Okay,
please?
great. I am excited to introduce our showcaser for this meeting, Jody Royer. Jody Royer is PWN's February sponsor and the PWN 2022 Woman of the Year. She is in her 4th year as PWN's technology chairperson as well. She is president of Monterey Marketing 360, which offers full service done for you digital marketing. And she is the owner of Life 360 Hypnotherapy and Coaching. She works with clients to overcome fears, anxieties, and subconscious blocks related to success, prosperity, and money. She has a lifelong passion for making art and is often in her studio making silver jewelry and large-scale digital artwork. Jody is a woman who loves to help her clients think outside the box of their own limitations and challenge their inner status quo in order to free themselves from fears, live free from anxiety, and create a brilliant and wonderful life. Take it away, Jody.
Hey, thank you so much, Julianne. You like read that so well. Thank you. I wrote that. So just know, you get to write your own intro. So if you're a sponsor, you got to come up with your intro, ladies. It's like self-promotion, but you get the benefit of somebody beautiful like Julianne doing this for you. So I'm going to launch in. I've got a few, like 3.5 minutes. I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to start my slideshow here, go into presenter view. And so what I'm looking at here is Happy New Year to everybody, because 2022 is all about you. That's my new slogan. If you can just say 2022 is all about you. And that means you and everyone else. And I want to help you today talk about something that's near and dear to my heart, which is strategic communication. So this involves why I do marketing and hypnosis, because it's a combination of communicating to the outer world, but first we have to communicate to our inner self so that we go in the direction of our dream. So all sales is strategic communication. We are selling to ourselves constantly. We're selling to our children, our family members, our clients, to the world. Anytime you want to get something done, you want to create change, or you want agreement, you're leading people on a path of agreement for a continuous, mutually beneficial outcome. That's really how you want to think about sales in all forms. It is what you say just as much as how you say it. So what you say is just as important as how you say it. I know people say it's not about what you say or how you say it, but really it's a combination. Strategic communication is what we need to learn in order to get what we need and want. And the cause of not getting what we want is resistance. Have you been in this situation? And maybe that little girl is you inside, the part of you that is basically telling you to leave me alone because I don't want to do what you want me to do. How many of us have the inner resistance where we're like, I'm going to get up at this time, I'm going to do my exercise, I'm going to meditate, I'm going to get all this stuff done. You have like a parent you, but the child you is the one that actually does it or doesn't do it. It's the same thing with our clients. So if I could show you how to strategically communicate and clear up all those issues that create resistance, so people join up with you and stay joined up with you, would you dedicate a specific amount of time every day to make the changes to have more successful relationships, both in business and in your personal life? That's my question to you today, because I'm here to help you become more adept at leading people on a path of agreement for mutually beneficial outcomes. If you go to jodyroyer.com, that will link you straight to my website that has to do with marketing and mindset. And I appreciate your focus and attention on me today. That is my little presentation. And I am done. I'm under time. Oh my gosh.
Very well done. Thank you, Jody.
Sure.
All right, next we have member introductions with an icebreaker question. So during this, if you can just name your name, your business, if you are on the board or interested in a committee, please let us know in that. And the icebreaker question is, what is one character trait you admire most in others? So I'm going to go ahead and start with Jody. You always go first. Tammy, want to start it off?
Sure. So my name is Tammy Jones. I'm a financial advisor with Edward Jones. And traits that I admire in others is when they say they're going to do something, they do it. I think oftentimes, as Jody kind of relayed to, but not for my child, but more for me, is I'm going to get up, I'm going to do a workout, I'm going to do this. And then something always happens. I'm too tired and I don't do it. So those that say they're going to do something and follow through with their personal goals, I really admire.
It's beautiful. And you
Oh,
are
and I'm treasurer for the PWN group this year.
beautiful. Thank you, Tammy. Miss Julianne Watke.
Ooh, that was awesome. I admire that. Yeah, Julianne Watke Health Coaching. And this year I get to be the showcase chair. So that's a lot of fun. So what I admire most in other people, I would say it's something that I always try to do is listen, like somebody who really listens, so I feel heard. That is kind of a rare thing sometimes. So that's my thing.
Thank you, Julianne. And our speaker and member, Miss Tracie Root.
Hi, ladies. I am Tracie. I live here in Santa Cruz, and I'm a speaker and a coach and the founder of the Gather community, where we help uplift women entrepreneurs to get the word out about what they are doing in their business. I'm excited to be your speaker today, and I would say that my trait that I would hold up above all others, what Tammy said kind of said integrity. So I'm going to go a different direction and say that they can dream big, right? That they have vision. Having vision, I think, is the kind of thing that when we have it for ourselves, we can help other people have it as well. And it's one of those things that we tend to let slide in the busyness of life. So I'm going to say being a visionary.
Beautiful.
Thanks.
Miss Sandra Collingwood. You're almost there. You're still on mute, but I know you're trying to find that button. Should we come back?
Maybe she needs to raise her
Okay.
volume. Oh no, she's still muted.
The bottom left one, you're pushing it? Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Ah, yay!
Well,
Yes, we can.
I've been pressing my mute button that said I was on. Well, anyway. All right. Oh yes. Well, I have a wonderful product here, Super Spotter Spot Remover, and it is sold to the White House, the Pentagon, Air Force One, and the Environmental Protection Agency uses it in their office. And those of you who have used it know that I'm telling the truth, which I am. I always tell the truth. What do I admire in people? Well, especially in public speaking, those who get to the point rapidly and sometimes with fun. And that's my little spiel today. And I'm going to get back on.
Okay. Thank you, Sandra. Dr. Maluna Fausch.
Folks that are attracted to work with me are seeking to align their voice with their purpose. It may be voice work. It's definitely public speaking. It's the way you present. So if you have a movement, you're a change maker, you just need to change the world, but you're not sure that message is getting through. And you need clarity, you need help with that, alignment with that, raising your frequency, your ability to be heard, then I'm your girl.
And your favorite character trait?
I think folks that are willing to go through the rough times with you. You can think of friends that are fair weather friends only, so that's not a real friend. Someone who can witness when you're in pain, stay with you, that ability to move through our challenges so that we can grow.
And you are?
I am the fundraising chair.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you.
Next, we have Elizabeth Stitt.
Good afternoon, ladies. Elizabeth Stitt of Joyful Parenting Coaching. I am on the membership committee, but I need to talk to Megan because I haven't actually done anything for you for a while. And a character trait that I admire is optimism. I like hanging out with optimistic people. And I think that there's much to be optimistic about, and we get much further in the world when we take an optimistic stance.
Very true. Beautiful. Miss Krista Bevers. Did I say that right?
Beavers, just like the
Beavers.
animal.
Okay, it wasn't Beavers.
That's okay. Good morning. I am, I guess it's afternoon now. Good afternoon. Krista Beavers with Guardian Accounting, Inc., where we do accounting, bookkeeping, and CFO services for small to medium-sized businesses. The character trait I like is one that I have a problem with, so I admire it in others, is holding firm boundaries. I am a pushover sometimes, so I really do admire those that can set their boundaries, stick to them, and continue to stick to those. So glad to be here. Thank you all.
Well said, Krista. Next, we have Beth Pawanda.
Oh, hello, I'm Beth Pawanda, excuse me, with Pawanda Insurance Agency, and I am your Medicare specialist. I help people navigate the Medicare maze from figuring out where to sign up for Medicare, original Medicare in the first place, and then determining what kind of supplement is the best fit for them. So the character traits that I admire, I really admire, obviously I love like people who are thoughtful and kind, but I really admire people who have tenacity, like they're go-getters. I love a go-getter who's also self-directed, someone who is self-taught or knows where to get information, somebody who doesn't have a lazy mind. I like people who are lifelong learners and go-getters. I'm sorry if I took more than one trait, but they kind of all go together.
These are all so good.
Thanks.
Next, we have Monica Hine.
Hi, everyone. This is the first time I'm being part of this meeting because usually I work Thursday. I'm a dental hygienist. I'm very thrilled to be here. And my Zoom was updating. I'm like, come on, finish this already. My name is Monica Hine. I'm in Scotts Valley. I'm neighbors with Tracie Rott. I work with a company. My passion is to teach you ladies how to make your home the safest place to be. I show you how to clean your home with high-end, long-lasting, sustainable tools and a few organic natural products from France that's going to give you longevity, it's going to save you money, time, and most importantly, your health. The character I admire people is openness. I love a person who's open to new ideas. The flexible shall not be broken. People who are not just sitting and crying because everything is going down, in a handbasket. Just say, hey, I'm open to this. This is what's going on now. What can we do? What can we change? Just being flexible with the times. And I am just new here, so I'm not part of any of those important cities. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's good to see you, Monica. I've only seen your name, so it's nice to see your face.
Awesome.
Next, we have Tarni Falloon. I'll let you say that one before I.
Hi, I'm Tani Falloon Israelson. Thanks, Megan, or Megan, I think it is. I'm from Body Centered Medicine, where the body holds the answers. So I work with women who are struggling with being too much in their heads, disconnected from their bodies, and living with reoccurring pain, body symptoms, or stuck somewhere in their life because it all turns up in the body. And they're women who are looking for more freedom or just need to reach to a new level. I'm actually Speaker of the Month in March, so I look forward to sharing more with you. And the character that I admire the most is adaptability. So the willingness to go with the flow, maybe to see other possibilities, but to be adaptable. And I'm also available to support someone on one of the committees. I've not got time for be a lead, but I'm happy to support someone. So if someone needs extra people on their committee, just let me know. Okay, thank you very much. Good to be here. Good to be in this group.
All right, I wrote your name down to join a committee. And Tarney is also on Ask the Expert coming out tomorrow at 10 a.m. on our Facebook page. So be on the lookout for that.
Thank you.
Next, we have Marion Gallatly.
Hi there, I'm Marion Gallatly. I'm your PWN Programs Chair for the year, and I am a style coach. And I just wondered if you've ever thought about style as a powerful way to transform your life. It can change how you feel about yourself, how others perceive you, and what you want to attract into your life. So, gosh, so many great characteristics that you've all shared today. So I'll pick a different one, and that is positivity. I love people that are positive, that are upbeat, that see the glass half full rather than half empty.
Yes, you do. And just piggyback off of that, I mean, Jody Royer is a client. Look at her. Oh, man. Every time she just brings joy just looking at her with her beautiful colors. Thank you, Marion. Next, we have Joanne Gessner.
Hi, I'm Joanne Gessner, and people who work with me are interested in their personal development and having a better work personal balance, using their full potential and developing their success by learning the transcendental meditation technique. And some of the qualities I admire most are people who are compassionately uplifting while being supportive to people and whatever it is they're dealing with.
Well said, Joanne. Next, we have Linda Lard. I'll let you pronounce that one, and I will.
Linda Laird Stashevsky. The word airs near Laird. Okay, hi everybody. I'm from Erie, PA, and I am a creativity coach. And I have 3 businesses. One is do-it-yourself crafts kits, Queen's comfort boxes, and the one I'm working with, especially right now, is Escape to Create workshops. I'm doing my second vision board tonight in person. The other one was a Zoom, so that keeps me busy. I love all the positivity and the strong traits of characteristics that we're giving here. And I didn't hear, I hope I'm not repeating anyone's, but resilience, the ability to bounce back with adversity, just take it as a blessing and move on.
We really had to learn that one quick. Next, we have Janine Passioni.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Janine Pacioni. I'm the Monterey County District Attorney. I don't have a business. I'm not looking for clients. I have plenty of work to do with our current population. But one of the things that I think is really important, especially for women, is their understanding and their belief that they can self-determine their future. And so when I talk to young ladies like in National Charity League and young women, I tell them, you need to write your own script. It's not written for you. You get to determine that. And that's the message I give them. So I enjoy seeing these kids, these young ladies kind of, take ownership over their lives and step up. And so that's, self-determination. And I think trying to see, I think it was, I don't know where she went. The picture shifted, but somebody else said self-determination. I agree with that.
Pleasure to have you. Good to see you again on your first Zoom too with us. I think we have a new face over here. We have Jana Marie Tautulman.
Yes, hello. I was invited by Tracie Root, so thank you. I appreciate being here. I am your catalyst for clarity, and I work with women in leadership who are struggling because they're not in alignment. So I work with them to get very clear on their convictions. And I'm also an angel minister. So I work with the frequencies from above and frequencies down here on earth. So I have a combination of working in epigenetics, combining technology, science, medicine, and spirituality all together.
Wonderful. Well, welcome. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
And last, we got Jody Royer.
Hi, I'm Jody Royer. I think I've got that wheel filled up now. You got my introduction, so I mean, you kind of know my whole story. So I'll just say what I appreciate in people is loving kindness. That's what I really appreciate, is loving kindness. When it comes down to the day, is that story of like how you left people feeling. And so leaving people feeling with a sense of increase, that they feel better off for having met me than before they met me. That's really important. So it goes both ways.
Yeah. I believe I did everyone. I think I touched on everyone. I think the last one is myself. So again, my name is Megan Mertz. I am the 2022 membership chair. I also am the business development assistant director for the Ream companies, which is our president, Tracie Ream, and who owns Disaster Cleanup Specialists, Floor Store USA's Flooring America, and Cypress Design and Build. So we're kind of a one-stop shop. And character trait I admire most in other is honesty. I think that if more people were honest, and even if it was tough criticism, it's still honest. So I definitely value that trait. And next we are going into talking with Marian and introducing Tracie Root as our speaker.
Wonderful. Thank you, Megan. And I'm very, very excited to introduce all of you to Tracie Root. Tracie is a coach, a speaker, an author, and most of all, a community builder. For almost a decade, she has been serving and supporting clients around the country to set and to get their goals in life and in business. With the founding of The Gather in 2019 and its expansion in 2020, she took her own goal-setting advice and created a community of like-minded women who are growing and thriving together. Tracie serves women around the country in her group programs and in the Gather community to expand their thoughts and dreams to live their bold life. So let's all welcome Tracie Root.
You. I was sitting at my desk and I heard this voice say, Tracie, you are too loud. You need to be more quiet. I was so embarrassed. I was in my 30s at work at a client, and my client told me that I was too loud and I needed to be quiet. I felt terrible. I didn't want to be a problem. I just wanted to do my job. I was really good at that job. I helped companies in Silicon Valley build out their new office spaces. And I'd done thousands upon thousands of square feet. And it always turned out really great. What happened was this. I was sitting in a client office, talking on the phone with my very favorite furniture guy. His name was Eric, and he and I had done floors upon floors of furniture together. I probably had a headset on, and I was probably talking with my hands like I am now. And when I get excited about what's to come, knowing that things are going well, I guess I could get a little loud. The problem was, not only was I building cubicles, but we were all sitting in cubicles, and my client and his boss were in the next row over. And I guess I called a little bit of attention to myself. So I felt terrible. I knew that if I was going to be successful in this career, I needed to please my clients. I needed to do my job well. And I also, as a contractor, as a consultant, needed to not be the center of attention, right? It was my job there to do a job for them, not to be like the celebrity that everyone knew. So I took a Post-it note and I wrote, "Be quiet." And I stuck it right here on my monitor, so that every time I was on the phone with anyone going forward, I would remember that people were listening and that I needed to watch out how I behaved if I was going to be successful in this business. Eventually that contract ended and I moved on to a new client location. And I brought my little Post-it note with me. And I put it on that monitor on day one, so that I would start off on the right foot, conforming to how I thought I needed to act in the workplace in order to be successful. Being told in such a shaming way was very embarrassing, and it didn't feel good. Eventually, I was able to take that Post-it off my monitor, because I didn't have to be reminded anymore to be quiet, to make myself smaller, to be what people expected me to be, maybe a little bit less of myself. Eventually, I realized that the change that I had gone through in the last 10 years or so since that incident had really made me feel like I didn't have my own sense of self anymore. And I was missing me. I was missing the ability to be seen. I grew up as a performer. I 6 feet tall. People see me, yet I was trying to shrink away in order to fit in, and it didn't always work out so well. So I decided that part of my next stage of development as a human, as an adult, as a woman, would be to recognize who I really was and how I wanted to show up in the world. I got a chance many years later, just a few years ago, to go on a personal and professional development cruise with Katarina Rando, if you know her. And what's great about a workshop on a cruise, or a program on a cruise, is it's a very immersive experience. So we got to, detach basically from real life and think a lot and practice a lot. And at the end of that week together, we were asked to take a little, name tag sticker that we've all used at in-person events that we've been to someday in the past. And we needed to write a word on there that would be how we were going to be different when we left the ship, right? Not how we were going to act or, a to-do list, but how are we going to be differently on the inside? So I took that sticker and my black Sharpie, and I wrote the word bold in big capital letters, and I stuck it on my chest. And people looked at me, 6 feet tall, purple hair at the time, and going, you need to be more bold. Like, you're already seem so bold. What does that mean? And I said, I can act however I need to act to make my point in the world, or to be, to move forward with success. I can act bold. I can seem bold from the outside, but what I needed was to realize that every day I needed to practice being bold on the inside in order for that transformation to finally be complete, away from the girl who had to be told to be quiet, who thought that that was true, and was ready to come out the other side. So I have developed, as a result, a 4-piece framework for being bold that we can all write down and remember, and take a look at these 4 things and decide for yourself as I go through them, which one maybe resonates with you. I want to highlight a couple of people who really said things that called out to me as I go. So be ready to hear your names, some of you. The first letter in bold, of course, is B, and B stands for be tenacious. Be tenacious. Beth, you said, my friend, it's so fun that we already know each other. Beth said she admires tenacity. So B stands for be tenacious. And what that means is this: when you have an idea of something that you want, you need to keep going after it, regardless of obstacles, regardless of not knowing what to do, regardless of being unsure about what's happened, because if it's something that you really want, it's easy to be tenacious and going after it. In my bio or in my introduction that Marion read for me, thank you, darling, we talked about Gather and the Gather community. So Gather began in 2019 for real as an in-person event space here in Santa Cruz. I didn't know most of you then, so I'm sure you've never heard of it, because 5 months later we had to turn off the lights and close the doors and figure out what was to come. But I wanted to go back to the year before that when I decided to create it. I wanted to do in-person workshops. I wanted to speak to groups of people, just like we're doing here today. This is super fun for me. Put me in front of a crowd, I'm ready to go. But I was having a really hard time finding a place here in Santa Cruz that was available, affordable, and nice. Most of the places were either like, if they were nice, they were in use already, or they were really expensive. And if they were available and affordable, they were kind of like the middle school gymnasium. Not really inspiring, not really the place you want to hang out for half a day and like make decisions to change your life, right? Maybe play a little kickball, but otherwise, let's not talk about, growing our empires when we're, sitting in the cafeteria. So I wanted to, with my background in facilities and interior design in my corporate life, I decided I was going to create my own space. By the time I made that decision and spoke it out loud to some friends, I said, I think I'm pretty obsessed with this idea. I think I'm going to figure out how to do it. I didn't know how to rent commercial real estate. I didn't know so many things. I didn't know about working with the city and zoning and parking fees and all the things that come with having a physical location in commercial real estate. But it didn't matter. Every time I came up against an obstacle, I was like, wow, that's pretty interesting. Let's move on to the next thing. I'm going to figure that out and we'll keep going. And we opened in October 2019, and that was one of the best days ever. I'll never forget it. So we have to be tenacious in going after those things that we get so lit up about that we can't stop thinking about it. So that's where B comes in. O stands for open your heart and your mind. Many people, when they're talking about the qualities they admire in others, talked about positivity and resilience and adaptability, but also optimism and positivity. And something that no one said, but really ties into all of these, is generosity. Right? If we can be generous, and we're all generous people. I mean, I don't think there's anyone out there who's going to say, I'm not generous. I'm totally stingy. Well, maybe frugal is a better word than stingy, by the way. But, generous is a two-way street. Generosity is a two-way street. We can be generous with our time and our talents and our money and our gifts and helping other people. But the two-way street is allowing ourselves to accept help from others. And it's not just for us that gets the gift of the help from the other person, but the other person gets to help us, right? We're all helpers. Is there anyone here that doesn't identify as a helper, right? We always want to help the people in our lives, our families, our friends, our associates, our clients. We want to help. But one of the best ways we can help others is to allow them to help us. This gets really important when we start growing our business and we start talking about building teams and things like that, right? Hiring someone else to do the things that you're not so good at. That two-way street is hugely generous. You get time to do the things that you're good at. They get paid to do the things that they're good at, and everyone's happy. So that generosity and understanding that takes some openness of your own understanding of that reciprocal nature, really, really important. So open your heart and mind is O in bold. So be tenacious and open your heart and mind. L stands for live out loud. As a speaker, you probably aren't too surprised that this is also one of my favorite ones, right? I love the opportunity to share what I have going on. I love the opportunity to highlight other people and share what they have going on. But really what this comes down to is understanding that there is no such thing as perfect, right? Well, I mean, there is a thing as perfect, but not for a person, right? People can't be perfect. It's not possible. So why do we keep trying to get it? Right? Bless you. You're right in the center of my screen. So I didn't even have to look away. Right? When we can allow ourselves to be seen, warts and all, flaws and all, and know that that's okay, that is a bold place to live, right? So living out loud, whether that means being seen, being, sharing your message with the world, being seen on video. I love that practically everyone, I know that it's lunchtime and people have jobs and not everyone can always be on camera, but this is one of the groups where like practically everyone is always on camera. It's so great because it's so much easier to like see what's going on and know that you're hearing what I have to say. So as a speaker, I love that. But it also shows that you're not afraid to be seen either. Because being part of the group and being part of the conversation is also means being seen. So by living out loud and deciding in a bold way that I'm not afraid of being seen or understood. And if someone thinks something of me, even though I'm out there being seen, I'm just me. And whatever they think is up to them. And whatever I do is up to me, right? The choices that we have allow us to be our best selves. So L stands for live out loud. And my last letter in bold, so we've got B is be tenacious, L is live out loud, or sorry, blod. B is be tenacious, O is open your heart and mind, L is live out loud, and then D is where we usually think we begin in being bold, but really it's the final step in the transformation. And that is to do without doubt, right? When we're being bold, sitting there being is great, but we need action, right? Action is that final step that gets us in the direction of our dreams, right? I mentioned that visionary was one of my values that I admire. It's also one of my personal core values for myself. I want to be able to see that big picture, understand what's possible. I want to help other people understand what's possible, but really, I want to help them be able to do without doubt, knowing that they can take steps in the direction of that dream and of that vision. I'm going to take a drink. So, ultimately, we can be bold, we can act bold, we can think that we're bold, we can have this kind of feeling. But if we don't take action at the end, then we're not going to get anywhere from where we are now. And so being bold means taking that bold action step toward the dream that you've been dreaming about. When I created Gather, I could have just kept thinking about it, but saying it out loud was the first bold step. And when we got to the point where it was time to open the doors and have our grand opening party, and people actually came in and saw it, that was a hugely bold day. It was crazy. I wish you were all there because it was so fun and it wasn't perfect. We didn't have our chairs. I borrowed someone's plastic chairs from next door. There was so much that was not done, but it's okay that it wasn't perfect because it existed and the vision keeps going. And I kept in action. So I want to leave you with this. Please don't think that being bold is for someone else. Don't think that bold is something so big that you're not ready. Because it just takes a little step in that direction in order for you to get closer to the vision that you're holding for yourself. Yeah. Awesome. Is that amen? Thank you. I don't know where I am on time, if you could help me out with that.
And you still have about 15 minutes.
About 15 more minutes. Well, we have so much time. Does anyone have any thoughts? Any experiences that they could share with the group about a time when maybe they were feeling like they weren't ready to take those steps and took that next step, even though it was scary? Julianne, please.
Oh, I just was thinking about one of the most scary periods in my life was moving down to Los Angeles for school and for work. And I had this dream about my career, and I knew I wanted to enroll in college, and I didn't know what I was going to do for work. And I remember, but it had to do with the entertainment field. And I literally just, without knowing what the heck I was doing and scared to death, I just knocked on doors in Hollywood, literally on Santa Monica Boulevard. And I didn't know what businesses did and how they did it. And you know what? I actually landed an awesome job just by being, having no idea what I was doing. And I was scared the whole time. I was terrified, but somehow it worked out. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, you know what? So I love that. And I want to highlight a couple of things, right? You were obviously young, and what's the worst that could happen, right? But what's the worst that could happen is something we can tell ourselves today, right? We often hold ourselves back because we are afraid of the consequences of an action that we think we want to take, but we're not confident in it, right? That confidence comes from doing it anyway, right? Because what is the worst that could happen, right? What, Julianne, the worst that could happen when you knocked on those doors is probably what did happen on most of the doors, which is, you're crazy, I don't have anything, go away, and you could feel embarrassed, and you could feel like, wow, that was kind of crazy. Or, someone might yell even at you, but even like that would be uncommon. Mostly they would just say, no, we don't have anything, move along. Right? Monica, go ahead.
Yeah, that's how I was brought up. And my parents always say, if you don't ask, the answer is always no.
Mm-hmm.
And so I grew up in a family with 10 people, and being afraid was not an option. You just had to go for it. So I think that it's obviously all in our heads, right? And I always like to ask, what's the best that could happen?
Yes.
Right? If we expect the best, you want to get the best, and you keep doing it until you get that best, whatever that best means to you.
Yep.
And do it anyway. That's what courage is for me, is not, succeeding, is doing, even when you are afraid, you just do it. Yep. Regardless of the outcome. You just have a go, I'm going to do this no matter what, as long as it's not something that's harming me or somebody else.
Right.
And just have that vision and that go, just like you're talking about, and say, I don't know about this, but whoever started doing, they didn't know either.
Right.
Oprah didn't start being Oprah from the get-go.
And that's exactly where do without doubt comes from, right? Because we don't, once you get in the habit of saying what's the worst that could happen, you don't really ask that to yourself anymore. No. Right? That's just kind of gets you through over the hump of holding yourself back. Mm. But really, when we get in the practice of doing, of staying in action, it feeds itself, and we feel a lot more confident in knowing that it might not go the way we planned, but it might. So let's just keep going. Love it. Thank you. Jana Marie, my friend.
Hello.
Go ahead.
I'm in the car, so I hope nobody really loud drives by.
You're good.
What I wanted to say is, what a great question. And following your bold, I had to be tenacious. I worked at an academic institution for 38 years, and a really bad boss came in after all that time, and it was really bad. I had to leave. So I had to open up my heart and my mind to a new experience. And then I had to open my mouth and live out loud and say how bad he was and what he was doing. Yep. Without trying to get blackballed or, whatever. So what I had to do was the D. I had to do without doubt. I had to walk out after 38 years. So I packed my stuff and I resigned and I left. And what I realized is I went from being an employee after 38 years to becoming an entrepreneur. If you're not bold when you're an entrepreneur, you're not going to get anywhere, right?
Right, absolutely. And it's the kind of thing, it's like a roller coaster. Sometimes we're feeling it and sometimes maybe a little bit less. And it's seasonal and it's life seasonal and it's, you know, actual seasonal for a lot of people. I'm grateful that the sun is shining today, so I'm all perky. If it was gray outside, it wouldn't be feeling the same. All right, we've got lots of hands and I want to make sure to get to everyone. So Jody, my friend, go ahead. Thank you, Jenna Marie.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
Well, I'm always thinking about stuff like this because I think about conditioning. And one of the things that I think about with this is women are conditioned to not ask men out on dates.
Mm-hmm.
Men are conditioned to take rejection like crazy. Like they're shoved out into the world and just go ask her, just go ask. You're not going to get what you don't want. And the women are trained to receive.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're waiting to be asked out, right?
Right.
So I think this does us a huge disservice in business because our childhood upbringing, maybe you were trained to go ask somebody out on a date, but that really has a big play in our ability to get past that resistance that's inside. That's basically saying, oh, you shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do this. Something's wrong. And I'm just here to say that there's nothing wrong. It's just your conditioning is telling you a lie. And that conditioning is not our intuition. That's the problem, is overcoming that conditioning and going, oh my God, I've been trained to be this way. And I'm calling it my intuition. It's basically just a program.
Right. Absolutely. And that's why I like teaching this content. And I turn this towards life. I turn this towards business. I turn this towards sales, because we are like, it is a natural like upbringing situation, and it isn't going to serve us if there's things that we want to accomplish in life and in business or in anything, in any part of life, whether it's business or not. So I do want to thank you, Jody. I want to make sure to call on Tarnie because she can't raise her hand and I don't want to miss her. So Tarnie, and then Joanna, and then Tammy, and I think we'll probably be at time at that point. Go ahead, Tarnie. Right, there you are.
Thank you. I'm not sure why I can't.
It's okay.
I don't know. I can't find the option. Anyway,
That's
I was going to say that courage has probably been one of my saving graces, or I've been told that I'm very courageous. And I actually had a very successful practice in Australia, and I packed it, I sold it, or I left it and came to the United States and started all over again. That was a huge thing to do, but I wouldn't be sitting here with all of you if I hadn't done that. I wouldn't be with my amazing husband. I wouldn't have had the life I've had, but it took a huge amount of courage to just say, so you talk about being bold. It's just like, well, most people wouldn't do that, but
absolutely. And you had a vision of what you wanted.
I had a calling. Yes. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Fabulous. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you, Tracie.
My pleasure. Joanne.
Hi, well, all of this reminds me when I first became a TM teacher, most of us were in our 20s, not necessarily, and our goal was really to regenerate the world, big, a big goal. We weren't necessarily leaders of society, and Maharishi used to tell us, doubt the doubt. And then we just have, go do what you're trained to do. And doubt. And 30 years later, I was in a small town with a great community, lots of people who I've known for a long time, creatively happy and all kinds of things. And then Maharishi asked that we refresh our teaching credentials and then go out and teach again and enliven, this technique for the world again. So I came out here 16 years ago, not knowing anybody. Packed up everything, not knowing anything.
This
and
felt
then,
like the right place.
Yeah, the right thing to do. And then that, be tenacious, all through all these years of teaching, just no matter what's happening, you just kind of continue on what it is that you want to be doing and being tenacious. And then because you're open in your heart and mind, nature supports you. You get the connections that you need. You get the steps that you need to take the next step. Just and continuing to doubt the doubt. So just everything that you said today really rang true for me in my
Fantastic. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks for, what I love is everyone's kind of saying, this has been my experience too. This has been my experience too. This is really wonderful for me to hear. So I'm thrilled. Thank you for that. Tammy, please.
I've found the experience to be when men stick up for themselves or kind of rock the boat a little bit. They're ambitious and they're doing what's best for them. And there's never like a downside for them. But when women do the same thing, they're maybe considered kind of bitchy or they're not team players. And I just feel like if I hadn't, when we're making a decision, like for myself, I kind of battle, like, I don't want to be considered, not a team player. I don't want people to think I'm mad. But if I hadn't, been forceful in some of the decisions that I've made and kind of, not necessarily done the chain of command, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And it's such a disservice to women that we kind of beat ourselves up and beat each other up when we want to, better ourselves.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And, it doesn't mean that we don't work on our communication skills and in saying things in a way that people are going to hear and not get defensive as much as we can affect that. Usually it's not us. Right. But that's a great example of that, if we're going to have success in whatever area we want, whether it's business or our families or in our community or whatever, at school, whatever it is, right? These are the things that will get us there. Being tenacious, being generous with our hearts and our minds and being open, allowing ourselves to be seen while we're making mistakes, right? A lot of the things you're talking about, Tammy, you would say things and you didn't really know how they were going to go off. Maybe it was a mistake, but maybe you'd finally be heard. And that's huge. And then doing without doubt, doubting the doubt, doing the actions that are going to get us to the next place. Thank you so much. That was a really great point. All right. I am almost out of time and I want to share one last thing with you because all of you are in business, most of you, I think it was Janine who's like, I don't have a business, I'm the DA. So she left, unfortunately, she's already gone, but everyone else here, we all have companies and businesses and clients and people that we're serving. And we have goals. And what I really love doing is taking this framework of being bold and identifying that goal that you're after and helping people put a structure in place to get it. So I've got a really great tool that I use to do that. And I teach a workshop that goes through that for just 2 hours. We go from what is that dream, get clear on that goal related to the dream, and then do a step-by-step documentation and tool used to get there. So I actually have 2 different workshops coming up next week. One's on Tuesday at 11 and one's on Wednesday. Tuesday is focused more on the life side of things, which of course life is everything. It's business, it's family, it's community. And then Wednesday is more business focused, which, you could always translate the other way. So it doesn't really matter which day, but I am going to have it focus a little bit differently each day. They're at 11 and normally they're $97, but I'm so grateful for you all to be here today and having given me so much attention that I want to make sure to offer it to you at a lower price. So I have a code that's VIP 47 that will get you in there for $47 instead of $97. Because ultimately, and I'll put it here in the chat, ultimately, when we've got that vision of what we want to do, and we all have like projects we want to work on or something that we're going after, especially here in January, if you've got that in your mind and you just need to I know what to do, I just need to do it. I just need a little accountability. I just need a little support, someone to kind of hang out with me while I say I'm going to do something. This workshop would definitely be for you. And again, it's only 2 hours, $47 for you. And I really hope that you'll join me next week. It's going to be super fun. So that is me today. And I want to thank you all so much for your attention and for being here. And I appreciate you all. Mwah.
Tracie, I think it resonated with everyone. Phenomenal. And
thank you.
if you can actually, I know we have the deal that for ones that are here, but if you can also promote it on our Facebook page for the other, just to kind of
Absolutely.
get more of an audience and whatnot. Perfect.
Yes, I think it should already be going, but I will double check.
Okay, perfect. Well, great stuff.
Thank you
man.
everyone so much. It was good times.
All right, so Jody, how's our spinning wheel looking? Oh, where's
Start. I'll take a screenshot of that.
Yeah.
And I know her email because it's in the list.
Yep, perfect. I wanted to announce our next meeting will be on February 2nd, and it's the 2022 Professional Vision, yours with ours. So it's come here to the PWN board's vision for the organization this year, learn how to use your benefits of PWN to grow your business, and then share with fellow members what you have planned for your business in 2022. There will be some breakout rooms with facilitation with all the board members. So again, this is the year, and our goal is to advance and, really providing the best membership benefits in order to grow your business, right? And also be a networking organization at the same time. So February 2nd, the event will be posted very soon, and it's free, open to the entire Professional Women's Network. So
I just wanted to say thank you to Tracie. I think it's a fabulous message to start us all off for the year and to have us maybe really go back and think about where we're headed in 2022. So thank you for the wonderful, generous offer too. I wish I could be there next week, but I'm teaching all week. So I'll be joining you another time. Absolutely. I'd love it. Yes.
Absolutely, Marian. Thank you so much. And it really is, it is such a gift to get to be in a group of women like this, right? Everyone had so much, the message resonates because we've all been there. And we also all have places that we're going. So very exciting. Thanks, everyone.
Wonderful. Well, we actually ended a little bit early. We can stay on a little bit longer if you guys have any questions. But other than that, have a great rest of your week. And thanks for being here.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. You guys later.